Hello, welcome to Sarah's Tarot and Oracle for the Soul. I will be doing the Sealed Path Tarot, the spread specifically for this deck. This is the Sealed Path spread connecting with the cosmos. This 9-card spread was devised with the Sealed Path Tarot in mind. Although it can, of course, be used with any deck, the form of the spread is based upon the 8-spoked symbol enclosed within a perimeter, which represents the 5th element of spirit. The 5th suit of this deck. It also calls to mind the 8-pointed star of Ishtar, which also is the wandering star of the planet Venus, the goddess of love. This spread can be used when a multifaceted picture of the current situation is sought, both of past and future, of conscious and unconscious thoughts and motivations, and when a connection with larger realities beyond the immediate situation is desired. Although it is a spread reasonably wide-ranging in its possibilities, it is fairly straightforward to lay out and interpret. The spread is laid out in the sequence shown, with the first card, 1 being the significator, which represents both the current and the current's present situation. All right, so let's lay this out just like this. There's a lot of cards, so it makes it a little difficult. We'll do this as card number 1. Try to get this in the center. It's going to take a little practice to get used to holding this many cards in my hand. I'm going to do this one as number 2. Do this one as number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. And number 9. All right, so let's see what the signify. We're not going to do it upside down. So we have 2 of Swords, the Sundering. 2 of Swords, the act of sundering, of splitting something apart, is more than an act of simple separation. It implies the division of violence and trauma, something out of the blue that leaves us feeling torn asunder. The 2 of Swords also recognizes that such a violent sundering can contain within it new creative possibilities and a new world order that is introduced after the revolution has happened. This card, while dramatic, also offers new opportunities following a crisis. When drawn reverse, the card implies division, conflict, and some form of loss. Key meanings: a difficult but necessary separation, new possibilities are open, new opportunities. Loss arising from conflict, division, a painful separation, feeling torn asunder. All right, so I just had to give up all my favorite foods again. I'm putting myself on a strict diet, the autoimmune protocol, due to my Hashimoto's flaring up again. So, yep, that makes sense. Makes sense. Now we'll do card number 2. It says card number 2 gives an indication of the current's conscious mind and thoughts, the way in which the current mentally sees things. Okay. So this is the Sage of Discs, the wisdom of the heart. So often we are torn between the voice of the heart and the voice of the head, between emotion and reason. A feeling of being torn between these two can come in those moments when our heart seems to be encouraging one course of action and our reasoning intellect urges us in a more practical direction. Perhaps it is the way of the head that might offer the safer course of action for us to follow, but the way of the heart might well prove to grant us life's richer rewards. This way of the heart is the path of the Sage of Discs, and we may conclude that greater risks also offer greater rewards. The heart demands courage and commitment, and also blind trust. Sometimes we just have to step out over the void, and if things do not work out for us, then the Sage is there to help soothe and heal our heart's wounds. The heart is a wise teacher, but only if we remain true to our heart's wishes. For in so doing, we also remain true to ourselves. The Sage of Discs both urges us to follow the way of the heart and aid us in our heart's decisions. When drawn reverse, betrayals of the heart and unrequited love are more likely to be our lot. Key meanings: being true to the heart, finding the courage to commit to something. All right, so yeah, finding the courage to commit to this diet. I agree. It does take courage to give up dairy, gluten, sugar, alcohol, limit my caffeine, cut out pork, red meat, all the delicious foods. All right, card 3. At the lowest position in this spread indicates the current's unconscious thoughts that might be influencing what card 2 indicates. So card 2 is follow my heart. Card 3 is 5 of Swords. Ooh, lots of swords. The field of battle. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, that actually fits, so we'll keep that there. This is a troubling card in which the elements of conflict latent in the Ace of Swords emerge as reality. If anything can go wrong, then it probably will. We must simply do our best to stand our ground and fight as best and as bravely as we can. The 5 of Swords implies that there is no way around the problem, only through it. True, I can only get better by changing my diet. Even measures that we might attempt to take to redeem the situation could end up compounding our difficulties. The one positive aspect here is the call to fight our own inner battles. But when drawn reverse, even the fight might well prove exhausting. Actual conflict in some form, the potential for things to go wrong, inner battles. Reversed, exhaustion, difficult battles with ourselves and with others, things going wrong. Yeah, I mean, I will like get a craving for something and I tell my husband, I'm like, oh, I want to go get XYZ. And I'm like, I let it like wash over me. I acknowledge it. I even say it out loud. And then I'm like, 10 minutes later, I go, no, it's fine. I can't eat that. So I am having the internal battles, but at least I'm not succumbing. All right, card number 4. We have Essence of Air, Ace of Swords. Another sword. Well, y'all, it's calling me out. It really is mind over matter, right? When you're dealing with giving up your favorite things for your health, either for dieting, to lose weight, or due to health issues, or for spiritual reasons. It's never easy. It's always a battle. The swords generally are a troubling suit. How could it be otherwise when swords so often symbolize strife and conflict? No age in history has been entirely free from conflict in one form or another. The Ace of Swords represents a template for all such conflicts, whether they are those earthly conflicts between nations or the invisible conflicts of the heavens. This card also signifies the importance of protecting ourselves by carefully choosing our battles and standing our ground. When drawn reverse, such protection could be lost, and we might find that we are left to fend for ourselves. Key meanings: the potential for conflict, ensuring our personal protection, choosing our battles. Reverse, loss of protection, actual conflict, choosing the wrong battle to fight, and general strife. So that card represents my unconscious thoughts. Sorry, card 4 represents the current's past, the events that might be continuing to influence card 1. Whether that influence is favorable or not will be suggested by either positive or negative cards. All right, so that's my past card. It shows choosing our battles, which, yep, okay. And then card 5 is therefore the prediction card, which indicates how things might look in the future for the current. And we have 5 of Orbs. 5 of Orbs says the flower of eternity. The 5 of Orbs is the most auspicious of the troublesome fives in the minor arcana. It is a card about discerning those invisible patterns whose movements leave no trace. From the stars in their courses to the flights of the birds, this card suggests the pathways traced out by an individual life, with all its occasional detours, meanderings, and spurts of sudden activity. The card has a soft energy that tends to lessen the influence of any adjacent negative cards. It helps us to connect the dots to reach a greater understanding of a situation. When drawn reverse, such energy and insights are lost. The pathways of our life become more apparent, patterns of existence revealed. Reverse, failure to connect the dots to a situation, a lack of insight and clarity, no clear direction. Okay, well, I'm glad that, this will soften my internal battles with having to give up my favorite foods. So that's good. The remaining 4 cards in the spread at the angles of the star may be seen as cosmos cards that are messengers to and from the greater beyond. Card 6 shows the way the cosmos wishes to influence the Kirin, either positively or negatively. All right, so card 6. We have 5 of Wands. Man, these 5s are stalking me. The Dragons of the Mind. This is a potentially troubling card, but with a silver lining. The 5 of Wands is concerned with those demon dragons we all tend to create for ourselves, those fears that might hold us back from committing ourselves to something. These might come in the form of a lack of confidence in ourselves, a doubting of our abilities to do what is required of us. This card encourages us to confront these dragons of the mind. Perhaps it is in doing so, we might discover that they are rather less real and less threatening than we had imagined. When drawn reverse, their reality hardens. Key meanings: potential doubt and lack of confidence, restraining and confronting our fears. Reverse, being held back from commitments, blockages, becoming more real, letting our fears rule us. All right, and then card 7 indicates how the Kirin will cope with card 6. 6 of Swords. Of course it has to be another sword. The Heart of the Aurora. In contrast to the previous and following cards in the suit, the 6 of Swords may be seen as the calm in the eye of the storm. It is a card that offers respite from turbulent events, a reprieve from what might have been troubling us. It also is a card about the very life force itself and the sometimes intangible line between what is actually alive and what we think of as being inanimate. There is a connection with the Ace of Discs in that it deals with subtle energy fields and the borders of magic. When drawn reverse, such magic will disperse and our shelter from the storm could be over. Key meanings: a temporary respite from strife, the calm in the eye of the storm, a reprieve. Reversed, feeling unsheltered, what we had thought was true magic turns to be mere illusion. Card 8 is what the Kirin is transmitting to the cosmos, which either can be favorable or negative. A negative card could indicate an unwillingness to open up to what might be out there. 3 of Orbs, the Vision. The 3 of Orbs is a card that encourages us to think in the long term, to see the bigger picture rather than becoming engrossed in details that might prevent us from getting a clearer view of a situation. It also offers an awareness of the creative power of dreams. For what we dream can have its own validity and reality, and can awaken us to what our inner life might wish to tell us. This beneficent card suggests that things will come together for us, even if we might not always be sure what we wish to achieve. When drawn reverse, dreams are just dreams. Seeing the bigger picture, the power of dreams, goals being realized. This is reversed. Reversed is getting lost in the details, the trivialization of dreams, goals left unrealized. And card 9 is what the cosmos is receiving from the Kirin. The last card is important because it is a reminder that what we think about something affects the thing as well as ourselves. Thoughts are a form of energy, and what we think does matter. So I got Shield Bearer of Swords, the protecting sky. Well, at least I got some protection. Here, I'll put this right here because so you guys can see it. That our atmosphere protects us is a self-evident fact and is the reason why meteors and other space debris do not come showering down around us on a daily basis. Quite apart from any other benefit which it provides, such as the life-giving air that we breathe in at every moment, our atmosphere acts like a vast shield that stretches over us, keeping such damaging things as the sun's more harmful radiation from ever reaching us. This is the protection offered by the shield bearer of swords, who is the embodiment of all the benefits that the Earth's atmosphere provides. But the shield bearer, being an essential member of the court of swords, is more than this. She is both courageous and intuitive, and as with any member of the five courts, offers her own unique qualities to those who seek her guidance and advice. The shield bearer also stands for clarity of thought. She is able to cut through the noise of a situation to reach what is essential, and so arrive at an informed conclusion. The shield bearer of swords has the qualities of courage and protection and clear and intuitive thinking. When drawn reversed, we might find that such protection could be withheld, and a degree of confusion and uncertainty might well be the result. Key meanings: finding courage, trusting our intuition, clarity of thinking, protection from harm. And the reversed is a lack of protection, unclear thinking, reaching an uninformed conclusion. All right, well, I'm glad that I have protection. And, I just have to go through it. I have to get used to not eating my favorite foods. I was looking at the comments on a Hashimoto's thread, and someone had mentioned Papa Murphy's has a gluten-free, dairy-free pizza, and I tried it, got the ultimate veggie, and it was so delicious. It was so good. Delicious. So I found one substitute for my favorite foods, and I was craving Rice Krispie treats, and when we went to Sprouts, I found a gluten-free Rice Krispie treats dessert, and it's so delicious. And as you all know, my husband makes a really good gluten-free focaccia. So we're finding things, I'm finding my way, and there's always substitutions, and each time I go on this really strict diet, there's more substitutions that like pop up and are really, really actually delicious. And I'm going back to eating a lot of salads, tons of veggies and fruits. So, in the long run, for my overall health, I know this is going to be better for me. And we're also in the time of ascension, and cutting out as much meat as you can is really helpful, according to all the seers and sages and wise ones, right? It's, eat as cleanly and as like vegetarian or fruitarian as you can. It will just help raise your vibration, raise your frequency. It's just hard since I am anemic as well. So I had been vegetarian before, and I had to go back to eating red meat due to the lack of iron, and that did help. I was still anemic, but it helped a little bit. Now I'm just taking iron pills, iron supplements, and trying to eat as many iron-rich foods as I can. So, there's nothing wrong inherently with eating a clean, healthy diet, and not drinking alcohol. It's just, I am a foodie, and I love trying new foods, and I love going to restaurants and trying new things. And now it's kind of, limited, but we went to Santa Fe, and I was able to get an Impossible Burger on a gluten-free bun, and it was so exciting. Like, I was so happy. So, there's restaurants and there's places offering that option. So I will be okay. It will be a struggle for me. It's been a struggle, but I've already shifted. I feel like I've already kind of shifted out of the struggle. So it's interesting that all these stripe cards came up. But I wanted to share that with you guys. Thanks for watching. As always, have fun and keep on shuffling. I'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.